Hey guys, long time no see. Welcome back to my channel. Here to review John Wick Chapter 4. Now, sorry for the disappearance, but uh, preoccupied with some other stuff. But I'll try to stay more consistent as possible as I possibly can. Now, John Wick Chapter 4. I heard that this, was the best one that has came out yet. I said, you know what? Let me go find out for myself if it really is. And let me start by saying that I think kind of like the Mission Impossible films, each film gets better than the last, and they try to top the previous film. My only problem with this film, I was actually going to see it when I saw Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and Creed 3 on the same day. And when I saw the runtime for John Wick Chapter 4, I was like, ooh, buddy, I'm going to hold off on that. So I went with Creed 3 and Shazam Fury of the Gods instead of Creed 3 and John Wick Chapter 4. And I'm kind of glad I held off on that for a while because this movie is long as shit. And that's the only thing that holds this movie back for me is just the runtime. Overall, I do love this movie. I love the I think my favorite characters of this film are Kane and Mr. Nobody. They were freaking badasses. And no, Mr. Nobody actually kind of reminds me of essentially a black version of John. And if you recall from John Wick Chapter 3, Holly Berry had these vicious dogs, and throughout this film, Mr. Nobody, his dog, does not play around. And it's probably one of my favorite things about the film is seeing this dog, Mr. Nobody's dog, just mess everybody up. And Kane is essentially like this hire that's I can't recall the villain's name off the top of my head. I just had it, but he hires. There's still a hit out on John for for his actions for 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 killing the villain in John Wick Chapter 2. I can't remember the villain's name in that film, but there's still a hit out on John for that, and the villain hires Kane and Mr. Nobody and all these other mercenaries to kill John. And I think is probably the closest it comes to matching John when it comes to fighting abilities. Even Mr. Nobody was able to keep up with John really well. I think that the action sequences are really great. The the action sequences are really great. The villains are great as well. But like I said, the only thing that holds this holds this film back from being the best of the best is its runtime, which is way too long. I feel like they could have chopped off 30 or 30 to 45 minutes and it still would have been great. But what that means, even the end of this film, it leaves off. I mean, we could potentially get a spinoff with Kane or Mr. Nobody. I would love to see a spinoff with one of those two characters because they were the most intriguing for me. And I was really hoping that they were not going to kill Mr. Nobody. I was praying to God. I'm glad they didn't. And the action sequences are non-stop throughout the John Wick franchise. We all know that. And I think the action sequences in this film were definitely the most fun to watch. And like I said, like just like I said earlier with the Mission Impossible films, the action sequences get better and better and more fun and just more entertaining overall. I think I'm not sure how where I would put this film by the end of the year. I might have to go back and rewatch it to see if my opinion changes on it. But I do enjoy this film. I'll give it 4 stars. The reason it's not getting 5 stars is just because the runtime itself is way too long. But I do enjoy this film. But let me know what you guys think of this film. But don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.